every day. for the invocation. Lord, we come to praise you on this day of recognition. Builders all, the future's bright, seeking their way, their mission. Let them know when trouble comes, you are close at hand, that you are God, the light, the way, our Savior who understands. Bless all who are given to bring these graduates here. Sacrifices made along the way, giving love and always sincere. Your word will be their rock, a lamp to light the way, a solid place to set their feet, a compass when they stray. May their eyes stay fixed on you, bringing glory to your name, knowing their faith is strong and pure, rising above all shame. God bless these graduates as we share in their joy, that your face will always shine upon them, and their faith never be destroyed. We ask all this in your name. Amen. You may be seated.
Good afternoon. Welcome. I'm Dick Merriman, the president of Southwestern College, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the college's commencement. Today we will be honoring the efforts and achievements of students from all over the world. Students have spent years on our Winfield campus, adult learners who have earned their degrees through study in Wichita at the Palmetto Force Base, at Fort Riley, City, and online. Southwestern College serves many different kinds of people in many different ways. But today, Jazz Stadium is the center of it all, and we're very glad that you could be here today. Welcome. It's warm today, I guess you noticed. It's a great day to be out of the black robe and a black hat. We're going to try to move things along. I want to remind you there are air-conditioned venues where you can watch this ceremony on closed-circuit television. The closest one is in the Richardson Performing Arts Center, which is right behind the stadium. If you start to feel not well, please pay attention to that. If you need help, please call for an usher to help. If you have water available for you, just please be careful in this very warm afternoon. We're going to present 2 awards and then move directly to the conferral of degrees. The Professor Fran Javera Leadership Award is presented each year to 2 members of the senior class who live out the college's commitment to leadership through service. Your program provides some additional information about Professor Javera, who has very kindly provided a generous permanent endowment to support these annual leadership awards. Recipients receive a plaque and a check to assist them as they transition to the next stage of their lives, whether it be further study, employment, or work as a volunteer. I'm pleased to announce the names of the Javera Leadership Award recipients and to invite them to come forward to be recognized. This year's recipients are Christopher Paddock and Christine Shepard. Charles H. and Berta R. Kopke Distinguished Teaching Award is presented annually to a member of the faculty who exemplifies the college's commitment to excellent teaching. The generous endowment for this award provided by Mr. Kopke, who is a member of the Western College class of 1944, permits the college to annually present the award recipient this Steuben glass apple and an award of $5,000. This year's recipient of the Kopke Award is Dr. Stephen Woodburn, and I invite Stephen to come forward while I say a few words about him. Dr. Woodburn teaches history at the college, and I've had the privilege, which actually turned out to be quite a bit of work, of participating in a course that he taught a couple of years ago, which focused on the First World War. Students who study with Dr. Woodburn must quickly accustom themselves, as I had to lots of reading, lots of writing, and lots of discussion in small classes in which there isn't any room to hide. It doesn't, strictly speaking, add up to a lot of fun, but it's a lot of learning, and it gets the job done. In addition to his classroom instruction, Professor Woodburn has taken groups of students on trips abroad to both Russia and to Egypt, has involved his students in practical hands-on learning projects with historical archives. He has modeled for our students the scholarly pursuit that undergirds good teaching, recently publishing in book form a translation to English of an important work in the intellectual history of 19th century Russia. This spring, following the death of his history faculty colleague Phil Schmidt, Stephen jumped in and helped complete Dr. Schmidt's classes. For all these reasons and for many others, I'm pleased to present the Charles H. and Verda R. Kopke Distinguished Teaching Award to Dr. Stephen Woodburn.
I'd like to thank President Merriman and the administration for choosing me. I'd like to thank Charles and Verda Kopke and the Kopke family for creating the award. It is quite an honor. I, first of all, want to say I have in my pocket the medal that Phil Schmidt was given when he received this award. His wife, Phyllis, asked me if I would carry it with me when I put on my robe this weekend so that, at least in this small way, and of course lots of other larger ways you see among the graduates, Phil is still very much with us here today. Administrators, faculty, colleagues, friends and family of the graduates, I ask for your indulgence as I intend to address my comments primarily to the graduates themselves. Hopefully there's something we all can take away from it. My message to the graduates comes down to 3 words, and if I thought that would be enough, I'd just say them and sit down. But permit me to explain a little what I mean. My 3 words are this: do hard things. Do hard things. The Russian novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky tells the following story in The Brothers Karamazov. A man lived his whole life convinced there was no God, no heaven, no afterlife, no anything. You live your life and then it's over, and that's it. So when he died, he was completely disappointed to discover he was wrong. There was a God, there was a heaven, and he was told he could enter it if only he would walk for 1 billion miles. He said, no, this is not what I bargained for. I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. I wasn't counting on this at all. I say no. And he laid down right across the track where he was supposed to walk and refused to go anywhere. And he lay there for a year, for 10 years, for 100 years, for 1,000 years, at which point he said, well, this is stupid. The sooner I start, the sooner I finish. I may as well just get up and go. I got eternity here, and I'm not getting anywhere. And so he did. And of course, it took forever. You can do the math. How long would it take to walk 1 billion miles? But he had all the time in the world. Eventually, he finished. Now, the novelist Dostoevsky wraps up the story, ties it up with a bow. He says that the first couple of seconds in heaven were so wonderful that he would walk the whole 1 billion miles again just to experience that. That's not really my point today. My point is, first of all, how did I know that story? Well, I know that story because I read the book. In my copy, it's on page 780 and 781 out of 940 pages. I know it because I was willing to do hard things. I was willing to read a big book that most people would say is too much. You don't get a story like that from the Spark Notes. You get it by putting in the time, and when you put in the times, you learn stuff. That's point number 1. You do hard things so that you learn stuff from doing them, and you get the benefit of the experience by doing hard things. You will know things that others don't simply because you put in the time and effort. I made my own long journey like the one in the story. In graduate school, I discovered a book that would be very useful for my dissertation. It had never been translated into English. It had been out of print for almost a century, but in 1991 it came out in a big edition, and again in 1995, another big edition. 85,000 copies already in circulation in Russia. They're reading it again. I figured surely someone way more qualified than me would notice this and would translate it. Any time now, surely. Maybe in time for me to use it on my dissertation. I waited a decade. Nothing happened. 10 years. In 2006, I looked back and realized, well, shoot, if I'd just done a page a day, I'd have been done long ago. I was waiting for someone more qualified, but the fact is, sometimes the most qualified person is the one who thinks it needs to be done. There's a Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. If you'd done that, you'd be enjoying its shade now. But since you didn't, the second best time is right now. So get started. Put one foot in front of the other. I still didn't feel qualified for the job, but I went ahead anyway. I started in 2007, and I published that translation last year. It's dedicated to my youngest daughter, Ruby. She was a toddler at the time, every day taking afternoon naps. My wife had a part-time job in the afternoon. Rather than pay a babysitter, I went home whenever I could. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything else as long as she was sleeping. I decided, heck, I'll start. My goal was to do one page before she woke up. I found I could do that. Then I found I could do 2 pages before she woke up. On a good day, I could do 3, maybe 4 pages in a day. You just start, and then you get better, and you get stronger and more able. It's been said a number of places that success usually doesn't come from doing your day job. It comes from doing your homework. And I know that you graduates think you're maybe done with homework, but I hope you're not. Because the fact is, the biology professors are probably going to take exception with this, but I'm telling you, your brain is a muscle. And you've spent 4 years building it up, right? If you stop using it, it'll shrink and fade. Keep exercising the muscle of your brain. Keep it strong. Point 2 is you do hard things just to prove to yourself how capable you are. Use that capability. Find things you want to get better at doing. Cultivate something you're passionate about, and then the work ceases to be hard. It's just work, and it's fulfilling. It can open doors that you haven't imagined yet. Point 3 is related. You do hard things to prove to others that you're capable and credible. I spent years doing the first book not knowing what the payoff would be. Now I can see that better. Earlier this year, I won a grant to fund book number 2. Book number 2 is going to be half as long, half as hard. But they're willing to fund it because they see what I'm capable of. So you put in the work, you demonstrate what you can do to others, and they're happy to get behind you. You learn new things you never knew before. You prove to yourself what you're capable of doing, and you prove it to others. Those are the 3 points I want you to take with you today. In your 20s, I tell students this often, you're playing with house money. You can afford to gamble a little. You've got time. It's one of the things you've got the most of. By age 30, you should figure out what you want to do when you grow up, right? But for now, you've got time. You can bet big. You can fail. And all you lose is a little bit of time. Right now, that's what you've got the most of. Take a risk. Learn from failure. And use what you learn to do better next time. The worthwhile things in life aren't always easy. And the reverse is true. The easy things in life aren't always worthwhile. This world is begging for people who can do hard things. So go out there and prove what you can do. And when you do, shoot us an email. We're proud of you, and we want to hear about it when you do those things. Thank you, and best of luck to the graduating class of 2014. Steve out there? Yes. Thanks very much.
Our ceremony today is what is commonly known as graduation, but it is more properly called a degree congregation. It has a long tradition in the Academy that dates back to the 13th century with the awarding of the first baccalaureate degrees at the University of Paris. In those days, the word examination had a much wider use and included a process of inquiry into a candidate's fitness, as well as a check on scholastic attainment. The names of the candidates who had passed their examinations were arranged according to merit and sent to the head of the school for the awarding of their degree. Within the Academy, we still observe that tradition, although the honors are now strictly determined by GPA. Nevertheless, I would like to call your attention to your program, where you will see that students are ranked cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude, with honor, with high honor, and with the highest honor. There is a fourth distinction, egregia cum laude, with outstanding honor. It's a distinction that is rarely used. You will not find it in your program. We'll be using it today, but although we are not conferring degrees on those people who earn that distinction, I am extending this honorable mention to 3 of our colleagues who, due to their untimely passing, were unable to complete this academic year. I ask you to remember the names: Dr. Philip Schmidt, egregia cum laude; Miss Diana Alexander, egregia cum laude; and Miss Cynthia Compton, egregia cum laude. Please extend your congratulations to all of our honorees for their outstanding academic performance. Mr. President, the following candidates have been examined by the faculty and are deemed worthy of admission to a baccalaureate degree. Mr. President, I present to you candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Rachel Michelle Schroeder. Savannah K. Taylor. Patrina M. Parker. William McCown. Jinglin Chen. Joseph D. Schwartz. Miguel A. Rodriguez. Torben Thomas Harper. Charles Joseph Clark. Adrian Vieira. Hannah Elizabeth Watkins. Jacqueline Shea McCauley. Robbie Don Lee. Maggie A. Collette. Aaron Morris. Max G. Manley. Emily Lynn Watt. Daniel Van Sickle. Coley Morel Streeter. Gregory Scott York. Bailey Christiane Tutman. Jessica M. Ratzliff. Luke William Arneson. Caitlin Jewel Buffum. Jordan Lee Snow. Julia Lurinda Faust. Rachel Shekinah Rose. Jordan Edward Hill. Joe Do Tran. Mackenzie L. Wheeler. Matthew John Ungermeyer. Perry Sofa. Casey Hutchison. Rebecca Lynn Bustran. Sarah Lynn Izquierdo. Sarah Catherine Blackburn. Alexander Trey Tyler. Joshua Allen Sapp. Clayton J. Marple. Matthew Meal. Samuel A. McDaniel. Corey Ann Hunt. Raven Lynn Carr. Allison Elaine Homan. Justine F. Anthony. Jonathan Woon. Devin Michael Metzinger. Kylie Christine Kudera. Kyle D. Kilgore. Ashley D. Peterson. Ashley Brooke DeFore. Jennifer J. Strobel. Annie Marie Jones. Chanel L. Switzer. Laura Ballinger. Betty J. Taylor. Sunita Kokar. Katie Lynn Push. Megan Marie Ingalls. Donna R. Osborne. Nia Danielle Fields. Brian A. Bird. Mr. President, I present to you a candidate for the degree Bachelor of General Studies. David Allen Roberts. Mr. President, I present to you candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science. Sarah Ann Garrett. Robert T. Campbell. Penny Jane Poland. Constance A. Nash. Brandon Davis. Travis Hunter Hankins. Justin Allen Spears. Kelsey Gresham. Tranisha Shanae Schaefer. Devin Page Howard. Trent Ryan Page. Constance Seward. Danica Lee Dixon Murray. Nolan Davenport. Beth A. Roberts. Robert Klingenberg. Ronnie D. Morris. Leland R. Sears. Adam R. Johnson. Jennifer D. Werford. David Williamson. Jason Alexander McAndrews. Joseph A. Kitchen. Andrew Dean Rainey. Donald Wayne Tipton. Stephen W. Voigt. Shay Aaron Wilson. Jeremy Eugene Bruner. Titus L. Jones. Bryant Curtis Daniels. Randall A. Malone. Ronald V. DiCarlo, Jr. Joseph Cruz Vargas. Seth M. Bannister. Nicholas M. Qualls. Jordan Barrett. Lorenzo Fouts. Nicholas Bradley Morris. Tyler Jordan Shirley. Kevin Andrew Gallo. Louis Ferrer. Kevin E. Comer. Philip Mosher. Tyler Harrell. Samuel Sawyer. Madeline Chapin. Colton McNinch. Alyssa Rochelle Gould. Eric John Anders. Trey Parker Bruton. Cedric Bloomquist. Taylor Janae Cisneros. Christine Shepard. Anna Lee Bell. Taylor Joanne Posey. Zephyrin Raven Bryan. Sherry Zogelman. Caitlin Tennyson. Haley May Fort. Christopher Lynn Paddock. Jesus M. Bruno. Susan D. Runyon. Jacob Glenn Hamilton. Cortia Navi Garner. Andrew Russell Fernandez. Yan Chen Shi Guo. Adam Thomas. Nathan A. Johnson. Tanner Rubidoo. Jonathan Doffing. Mr. President, I present to you candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training. Grant D. Tremblay. Jamie L. Grinstaff. Alyssa Brooke Zentner. Mr. President, I present to you candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Sarah J. Bateman Lightfoot. Laura Christine Largry. Mr. President, this is the class of 2014.
I'd like to invite the graduates to stand and turn around and face the stands and thank your family and friends who made this day possible. In your program, you probably saw a notice that maybe could use a little explanation. This weekend, we're trying to set a new world record for selfie photos at a college commencement. So I've got my camera ready. If you want to get yours ready, we're going to take a moment. I'm going to get a selfie of the stage party. If you want to take a picture of your graduate or this environment or each other, help yourself. Come on. Okay. Ready? Oops, let me turn around here. Get in there. Ready? Okay. Okay, let's sing the alma mater together.
If you would remain standing and join me in the alma mater, please. Far above the Walnut Valley, on a lofty height, stands our noble alma mater, bathed in golden light. Lift the chorus, speed it onward, over hill and dale. Hail to thee, beloved Southwestern alma mater, hail. Far above the stir and bustle of a busy town, reared against the arch of heaven, look she calmly down. Lift the chorus, speed it onward, over hill and dale. Hail to thee, beloved Southwestern alma mater, hail. To the height she calls us daily, alma mater dear. Heights of knowledge, hope, and courage, free from doubt and fear.
right, now please bow and receive this benediction. God, as our celebration of these graduates draws to a close today, we pause to give you thanks. May these graduates remember that the best lessons are often not learned for a grade. May they be surrounded by love that is freely given, by successes that are honoring to you and to them, by community that meets their needs. Give them joy in the mundane as well as in the monumental. Give them peace in the hard labor and in the holy times, and give them provision for all of their needs. God, though their families have helped many of these graduates get to where they are today, many of their future steps will take them further from their families than ever before. Give each one comfort and grace in the steps ahead. Protect our graduates when they encounter difficulty. Give them strength to persevere, and teach them that in their darkest days, they can be grateful for your sustaining presence. Bless these students, their families, and this institution as we celebrate them today. We humbly ask this in your name. Amen.
That concludes our ceremony. Congratulations again to the class of 2014. Thank you for coming.